The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon, painting the sky with soft oranges and pinks. In a small, quiet park on the edge of the city, people were slowly leaving after a long day. The benches were mostly empty and the air was calm. Birds chirped softly in the trees and a gentle breeze moved the leaves. It was the kind of peaceful place where few people hurried. Liam walked slowly along the gravel path, his hands in his pockets. He had no real destination, just a need to clear his mind. The day had been long and tiring. He felt tired but strangely restless. His thoughts wandered without focus, and he barely noticed the world around him. Near a bench under a tall oak tree, a woman sat quietly. She had a book in her hands, but she wasn't reading. Instead, she watched the sky, smiling softly to herself. Her eyes caught the last rays of sunlight, and a calm happiness glowed on her face. Her name was Ava. Liam's footsteps slowed as he passed near the bench. He caught sight of her smile, a small, gentle curve of her lips that seemed to light up the entire space around her. It was unexpected. For a moment, Liam stopped completely. The smile felt warm, like sunlight on a cold day. It reached deep inside him, stirring something unfamiliar. Ava noticed Liam looking at her. She felt a slight blush rise in her cheeks but did not stop smiling. The smile was natural and honest, without any effort. Liam, however, could not look away. His heart beat a little faster. He felt a strange flutter in his chest, as if his body was waking up from a long sleep. Neither of them spoke. The silence between them was comfortable but charged with something new. Liam wanted to ask who she was, why her smile had such an effect, but the words would not come. Ava closed her book and looked directly at him, her eyes shining with quiet curiosity. They both felt it, something subtle but powerful, like a thread connecting their hearts for the first time. Liam's mind raced with questions. Was it just a friendly smile, or was there something more? Could a simple smile really change everything? The sun disappeared behind the horizon, and the sky darkened slowly. The soft light faded, but the feeling inside Liam stayed bright. He took a small step forward but stopped himself. Instead of moving closer, he turned and walked away slowly, his mind filled with the image of that smile. As he walked under the street lamps, their light casting long shadows, Liam kept thinking about the moment. He touched his lips softly, remembering the curve of her smile. A quiet whisper escaped his lips, almost like a secret he was sharing with himself. Why does that smile feel so special? At home, Liam sat by the window, staring at the dark sky. The city lights blinked far away, but his thoughts were not on the night. He replayed the moment again and again in his mind, wondering if it had really happened or if it was a dream. In his heart, something had changed. A small light had flickered awake, a feeling he had never known before. It was strange and new, something gentle but powerful. The smile had opened a door inside him, a door he didn't know existed. Meanwhile, Ava walked home slowly as well. Her mind was full of the same feeling. She smiled softly to herself, her steps lighter than before. She had felt a connection too, a warmth that spread inside her chest. It was a feeling she could not explain, but it made her heart feel full. That night, both Liam and Ava lay in their beds, eyes open in the dark, thinking about the other. They didn't know each other's names, but they both knew that something important had started. Neither could sleep, caught in the soft glow of a new and unexpected feeling. The next morning, the park was quiet again, waiting for new stories to begin. But for Liam and Ava, the world had already changed with a simple, unexpected smile. It was the first moment of something beautiful, the very first feeling of love. And somewhere deep inside, Liam asked himself again, why does that smile feel so special? The morning sun filtered gently through the thin curtains of the small cafe where Liam found himself sitting across from Ava. The warm light cast soft shadows on the table between them, where 2 steaming cups of coffee sat untouched for a moment. Quiet hum of the cafe surrounded them, soft music, the clink of cups, and low murmurs of other customers. It was a peaceful place, and somehow it felt like the perfect setting for something new. Liam shifted slightly in his chair, unsure at first how to begin their conversation. The last time they had met, it had been a brief encounter, a simple smile that left a strange but wonderful impression. Today they had decided to meet again, both curious and a little nervous about what this might become. Ava's eyes sparkled with a quiet warmth as she looked at him. "So, you like coffee?" she asked, her voice light and friendly. Liam smiled, feeling the tension ease. "Yeah, I do. Helps me think sometimes," he said. "That's good," Ava replied with a small laugh. "I need all the help I can get with thinking." Her smile was easy, natural, and it made Liam feel like the world was less heavy. They began with small talk, the kind that fills the space between strangers but slowly builds a bridge. They talked about the cafe, the city, and the little things they liked about their day-to-day lives. Liam told her about his job working as an engineer, fixing machines and systems. Ava shared stories about her work in education, helping children learn new things. As the minutes passed, the conversation grew softer but deeper. Ava laughed at one of Liam's jokes, a sound that felt like music to his ears. Liam noticed the way her eyes lit up when she smiled, how her hands moved when she told a story, and how her laughter was honest and bright. Ava noticed small things about Liam too, the way his brow furrowed when he thought hard, the slight hesitation before he spoke, and the kindness in his eyes. It was in these little details that their connection grew stronger. They spoke about dreams and memories. Liam told Ava about a lake he had visited as a child, where the water was so clear it seemed like glass. Ava shared a memory of a summer night, watching stars with her family, feeling the world was full of endless possibilities. Every word, every smile felt light but meaningful. They didn't rush. There was no pressure. Just two people sharing moments, building something fragile and beautiful. Time seemed to move differently when they were together. Clock on the cafe wall ticked steadily, but the minutes flew by unnoticed. Liam looked up and realized the sun was already high in the sky, the morning slipping away faster than he expected. Ava glanced at her watch and smiled softly. "Time really does fly when you're not paying attention," she said. Liam nodded, his heart beating a little faster. "Yeah, I didn't even notice," he admitted. The feeling between them was new and exciting. It was like discovering a secret place inside their hearts, a place where laughter and quiet talks made everything brighter. Liam felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, hope. As they stood up to leave, the world outside seemed a little less lonely. The sky was clear and blue and the breeze was gentle. Liam and Ava walked side by side, no need for words yet, just the comfort of each other's presence. That day, as they parted ways with a promise to meet again, Liam thought about the small moments they had shared. A simple conversation, a shared laugh. These little things were becoming the foundation of something much bigger. And Ava, walking home with a lightness in her step, knew that the world felt a little warmer, a little kinder. Because in the smallest talks and simplest smiles, they had found the first threads of love. They did not know what the future held. But for now, in this quiet moment, everything felt right. Time had slipped away and something beautiful had begun. The late afternoon sun cast a golden glow through the tall windows of the quiet park pavilion where Liam and Ava had settled themselves on a worn wooden bench. The world around them hummed softly with the sounds of rustling leaves and distant children playing, but here in this little corner, time seemed to slow down once again. They had met a few times now, shared smiles, small talks, and laughter. But today felt different. There was a quiet tension in the air, an unspoken promise that something new was about to happen, something deeper. Ava looked at Liam, her eyes thoughtful. "You know," she began softly, "I think it's strange how quickly we can feel close to someone even if we don't know everything about them." Liam nodded, his gaze steady. "Yeah, it's like there's more beneath the surface. Things we don't say right away." For a moment, they both sat quietly, letting the words settle between them. Then Ava took a small breath and spoke again. "There's something I want to tell you. Something I don't usually share." Liam felt a sudden rush of nervous excitement. It was the first time she was opening a door to her inner world, and it felt like an invitation to step inside. "What is it?" he asked gently, his voice calm. Ava looked down at her hands, folding and unfolding them. "When I was a kid, I used to feel very alone. Even with my family around, I sometimes felt like I didn't belong. Like I was different, but I couldn't say why." Liam listened closely, sensing the weight behind her words. "That must have been hard." "It was," Ava admitted. "But I learned to hide it, to smile and pretend everything was fine. I thought if I didn't show it, maybe it would go away." Liam's heart ached at the honesty in her voice. He reached out and gently touched her hand. "Thank you for telling me. That takes courage." Ava smiled softly, squeezing his hand back. "I don't usually tell anyone, but with you it feels safe. Like I can be real." Encouraged by her trust, Liam decided to share something too. "I've never told anyone this either," he said slowly. "When I was younger, I was afraid of failing. Afraid that if I tried and didn't succeed, I would be a disappointment. So sometimes I didn't try at all." Ava looked at him with surprise. "I never would have guessed. You seem so sure of yourself." Liam shrugged, a small smile playing on his lips. "I'm not always, but I'm trying to be better." Their eyes met, and in that moment, the invisible wall between them began to crumble. They were no longer just two people sharing the same space. They were two souls revealing parts of themselves that few had seen. Park around them seemed quieter, as if the world was holding its breath. Liam's heart beat faster, a mix of excitement and fear swirling inside him. Could this be the moment where friendship turned into something more? Ava looked up at him, her smile gentle but questioning. "Do you think this could be more than just friendship?" Liam hesitated for a moment, then nodded slowly. "I think it already is." They sat there, hands still touching, sharing a silence filled with unspoken possibilities. The sun dipped lower, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange. The day was ending, but for Liam and Ava, something new was just beginning. As they stood to leave, their fingers lingered together for a moment longer than before, a silent promise that whatever came next, they would face it together. Walking away, Liam felt lighter than he had in a long time. And Ava, with a smile on her lips and warmth in her heart, knew that this was the start of a journey she had hoped for but never dared to dream about. The first secret had been shared, and with it a new chapter opened, one filled with hope, trust, and the thrilling possibility of love. The morning air was crisp and fresh as Liam walked toward the small cafe where he knew Ava would be waiting. The city was just waking up. The soft hum of early traffic and the occasional chirp of birds filled the quiet streets. But Liam's mind was far from the peaceful morning scene. His heart pounded louder than the city around him, and his palms felt warm despite the cool air. He tried to focus on the rhythm of his steps, but every time he thought of Ava, the steady beat became uneven. It was a strange feeling, one he couldn't easily explain. He had always been calm and collected, someone who faced problems logically. But now, just the thought of her made his chest tighten and his breath catch. Cafe, Ava was already seated by the window, sipping a cup of steaming coffee. When she saw Liam, her face lit up with a smile that seemed to brighten the entire room. Liam's heart skipped a beat. "Good morning," she said cheerfully, patting the seat beside her. "Morning," Liam replied, forcing his voice to sound steady, but inside he felt nervous. They began to talk about simple things, plans for the day, books they had read, favorite songs. But Liam's attention kept drifting to Ava's hands as she wrapped them around her mug, to the way her eyes crinkled when she laughed. Every little detail seemed to hold more meaning than before. As the conversation went on, Liam noticed that his heart was still racing, especially whenever Ava looked at him directly. He tried to brush off the feeling, telling himself it was just excitement or the caffeine from his own drink. But deep inside, he knew this was something different. Later, as they stepped outside, a light breeze played through the trees lining the street. Liam walked beside Ava, close enough that he could feel the warmth from her body. When their arms brushed briefly, a small shock traveled up his skin. He quickly looked away, embarrassed by the unexpected sensation. Ava noticed but didn't say anything. Instead, she smiled softly, as if she understood the unspoken feelings floating between them. The day passed in a blur of small moments, shared laughter, exchanged glances, and brief touches. Liam found himself replaying each one over and over in his mind, wondering if Ava felt the same way. Was her smile meant just for him? Did her quick glance hold a secret hope? That night, Liam lay awake staring at the ceiling. His heart still felt like it was beating too fast. He wasn't sure what this feeling was. Was it love? Was it fear? Or something else entirely? He remembered how he used to think love was something he might never feel, something that happened only in stories. But now it was real, and it made him feel both excited and vulnerable. The next day, Liam and Ava met again in the park. They found a quiet spot beneath a large oak tree where dappled sunlight filtered through the leaves. As they talked, Liam felt his nerves grow stronger. His hands trembled slightly as he reached for a fallen leaf, twisting it between his fingers. Ava watched him with gentle curiosity. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. Liam hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, just feeling a little nervous, I guess." "It's okay," Ava said reassuringly. "I get nervous too. Sometimes when I'm around you, my heart feels like it's going to jump out of my chest." Liam looked at her in surprise. "Really?" She smiled shyly. "Yeah. It's strange but nice." They both laughed softly, the tension easing between them. For the first time, Liam felt like he wasn't alone in this confusing new world of feelings. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with soft pinks and purples, Liam felt a small flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, Ava felt the same nervous heartbeat that echoed in his own chest. He looked at her, his eyes searching hers for a sign. And in that moment, when their gazes met and held, Liam allowed himself to believe that this nervous, racing heart could be the start of something wonderful. Something real. He wasn't sure where this path would lead, but he was ready to take the first step, hopeful that Ava's smile was meant for him, just as his was for her. The afternoon sun spilled softly through the branches of the tall trees, casting gentle shadows on the path where Liam and Ava walked together. Park was quiet, filled only with the sounds of birds singing and leaves rustling in the warm breeze. It was a peaceful moment, one that felt calm and steady, until their hands brushed for the very first time. They had been walking side by side for some time, talking about little things, favorite movies, dreams for the future, memories from childhood. Ava laughed at one of Liam's stories, and the sound was like a warm light that wrapped around him. Liam felt something deep inside, a strange flutter that he could no longer ignore. As they walked, Liam noticed that the path was narrow, lined with soft moss and wildflowers. For a moment, he stumbled slightly over a root. Without thinking, Ava reached out to steady him. Their hands met, fingers barely touching at first, like the gentlest whisper of contact. The moment their skin connected, a spark seemed to pass between them, small but powerful. Liam's heart jumped, and he felt a sudden warmth flood through his body. He looked down at their hands, now barely brushing, and his breath caught in his throat. Ava's eyes met his, wide and shining with a mix of surprise and something else, something tender and hopeful. Neither of them said a word. Words felt too big, too loud for a moment this delicate. Liam felt shy and unsure, but also excited. This simple touch, this tiny connection, was unlike anything he had ever felt. It was electric, unforgettable. For a few seconds, it felt like time itself had slowed just for them. Carefully, Liam's fingers moved a little, finding Ava's hand more firmly yet gently. She didn't pull away. Instead, she relaxed into his hold, a soft smile curling at the corners of her lips. They walked on like that, hands entwined, feeling a quiet joy growing between them. The nervousness from before did not disappear. It was still there, a gentle flutter beneath the surface, but now it was mixed with a thrilling new feeling. The feeling of being close, connected, and safe. Neither spoke. It wasn't needed. The world around them seemed to hold its breath, giving space for this moment to stretch and deepen. Liam thought about all the times he had been alone, how quiet and empty his days had been. Now, with Ava's hand in his, everything felt different. It was like a soft light shining through the shadows, a gentle promise of something new and beautiful. Ava glanced up at him, her eyes bright with silent happiness. "This feels nice," she whispered, her voice almost trembling. Liam nodded slowly, his heart pounding. "Yeah, it really does." As they continued walking, hand in hand, they both knew that something special was beginning. A new chapter, written not with words but with simple, tender moments like this. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting golden light over the trees and turning the world into a soft, glowing place. Liam squeezed Ava's hand gently, a silent promise that he was there and that he wanted to keep walking beside her. And Ava squeezed back. In that quiet, electric touch, a story was starting, a story of first feelings, of discovery, and of a love that was just beginning to bloom. The soft light of evening settled over the quiet park where Liam and Ava had spent so many peaceful moments together. Trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the distant sound of children playing echoed faintly. But inside Liam's mind, a storm was growing, quiet but persistent. He glanced at Ava, sitting beside him on the wooden bench. Her eyes were fixed on the horizon, watching the fading colors of the sunset. Her face was calm, but Liam could see a flicker of something else, a hint of worry that matched his own. 4 days now, strange thoughts had been creeping into his mind, uninvited and uncomfortable. What if this feeling, this connection between them, was not strong enough to last? What if something changed? If the magic that had brought them together faded like the light in the sky? Liam swallowed hard, feeling the weight of the doubts pressing down on him. He wanted to tell Ava, to share these fears, but the words felt heavy and dangerous. What if he said something wrong? What if talking about it made things worse? Ava shifted slightly beside him, as if she felt the tension in the air. She turned her head to look at Liam, her eyes searching. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. He forced a small smile, not wanting to spoil the moment. "Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking." But Ava wasn't convinced. She reached out, brushing a stray strand of hair behind his ear, a gentle gesture that made his heart ache with both joy and worry. "You can tell me anything," she said quietly. Liam took a deep breath. "I guess I'm just scared. Scared of losing this, losing you." Ava's smile faltered, and she looked down at her hands folded in her lap. "I've been scared too," she admitted. What if things change? What if we're not the same tomorrow? The silence that followed was thick and heavy. Neither wanted to break it, but both felt the fragile thread between them trembling. Liam glanced at Ava again, really looked at her. The way her eyes glistened with uncertainty, the soft curve of her lips pressed together in thought. He realized that she felt the same fears, the same vulnerability. "I don't want to lose what we have," he said quietly. "But sometimes I worry that one wrong word or moment could change everything." Ava nodded slowly. "Me too." It's like walking on a thin line, afraid to fall. Their hands found each other again, fingers entwining in a silent promise. The simple touch was a small anchor in the uncertain sea of their emotions. For a while they just sat like that, close but quiet, sharing the weight of their fears without needing to speak more. Liam's mind wandered back to all the moments they had shared so far, the smiles, the laughter, the gentle touches. Each one felt precious and fragile, like a glass vase that could shatter with the slightest slip. But he also thought about the strength beneath those moments, the trust, the honesty, the care they had shown each other. Maybe that was what could keep them steady, even when fear came knocking. Ava squeezed his hand gently, and he looked into her eyes again. "I don't want to pretend everything is perfect," she said softly. "But I want to be honest with you no matter what." Liam nodded, feeling a warmth spread through his chest. "Me too." No matter what. The sun dipped below the horizon, leaving the sky painted in soft purples and blues. The world around them grew quiet, as if waiting for their next step. In that moment, Liam and Ava made a quiet promise, not to hide their fears but to face them together. To be honest, even when it was hard. To hold on tight to what they had found, even when the future seemed uncertain. 'Cause love, they realized, was not just about perfect moments. It was about courage, the courage to be real, to be vulnerable, and to keep choosing each other every day. And with that promise, the fear began to loosen its grip, replaced by a gentle hope that maybe, just maybe, they could face anything, as long as they were together. The soft glow of the evening wrapped around the park like a warm blanket. The world seemed to slow down just for Liam and Ava. They sat close on the worn wooden bench, their shoulders almost touching, the gentle rustling of leaves the only sound between them. For a long time neither spoke. Words felt heavy, fragile. But their hearts had already spoken in quiet ways, through glances, gentle touches, and shy smiles. Now, finally, the moment had come to say what they both had been feeling. Liam's breath caught as he looked at Ava. Her eyes shone softly in the dim light, reflecting the last colors of the sunset. He saw in her something beautiful and real, something he had never understood before. He felt his chest tighten, the familiar nervous flutter turning into something deeper, stronger. I think I'm in love with you," he said, his voice barely more than a whisper but steady with honesty. Ava's eyes widened for a moment, surprise mixing with joy. Then her lips curved into a gentle smile, the kind that made her whole face light up with warmth. "I was hoping you'd say that," she said softly. "Because I feel the same." Relief and happiness washed over Liam like a wave. He had imagined this moment 1,000 times, but nothing could compare to the real thing, simple, true, and full of hope. The weight of doubt and fear that had held him back melted away, leaving only a quiet certainty. They turned to face each other fully now, their hands finding each other once again. This time there was no hesitation, only a calm, steady grip that said everything words could not. Their fingers intertwined as if they had been made to fit together. "It's strange," Ava said, her voice gentle, "how just saying it out loud makes everything feel different. Lighter. Like I can finally breathe." Liam nodded, a soft smile playing on his lips. "It's like a new world opening up, one I never knew was there before." For a moment they just sat in silence, holding hands, sharing the quiet joy of being together. The sky above deepened into twilight, stars beginning to twinkle faintly, as if the universe itself was watching their moment. Liam's heart pounded with a mixture of excitement and peace. He thought about all the small steps that had brought them here, the smiles, the talks, the shared secrets, and even the fears. Every part had led to this simple truth. Ava looked up at him, her eyes shining with something pure and honest. "So what now?" she asked, a playful smile tugging at her lips. Liam chuckled softly. "Now we see where this takes us. Together." Her laughter was like music, light and free, and it made Liam's chest swell with happiness. "Together," she agreed. They stood up from the bench, still holding hands, and began to walk slowly down the path. The world around them was calm and beautiful, but inside them was a new kind of energy, a bright, hopeful light that promised more than just friendship. Liam glanced at Ava, feeling a warmth spread through him that was unlike anything he had ever known. "This," he thought, "this is what love feels like for the first time." The first true feeling of love, simple, sincere, and full of promise, was theirs now. And as they walked into the soft glow of the coming night, their hearts beat in quiet harmony, ready to face whatever the future might bring together.